The first thing, at the core of everything in the media world at the moment is what you might call, or what we call, the paradox of trust. Simply put, on the left-hand side, if we think about marketers, marketers trust media that they can easily measure. There's a number and it's gone up, then it must be real, good. That's fine. So media, they can easily measure, that's what marketers trust. The only problem with that, of course, is that people don't trust media anymore. I'm not going to go into exactly why that is now. It all gets a bit messy, but I think all of us recognize that reality. And it's actually going down. Trust in traditional media is effectively going down, and has been since about 1971, which is quite a while. Let's look at the other side of the ledger. Let's look at people. People trust other people. People they know, and word of mouth from real people, online or offline. Excellent. The problem, of course, now is that marketers don't have a currency to measure word of mouth. So we have this paradox of trust. Marketers only trust it if they can't measure it, and they can't measure what people most trust, who don't trust the media that they can measure. That is the problem at the centre of the media equation, native or otherwise.
McKinsey put together a great research study, and they looked at word of mouth and understanding word of mouth because they'd been hearing about it from their clients. You know, how do we put some measurement around this? How do we put some frameworks around this? And what they said was, across their research, that conversations control 20 to 50% of all purchase decisions. That's 20 to 50% of all purchase decisions across a multitude of categories. That's quite a lot. Those 1.2 billion conversations are making an impact. What we do know is that these influencers have 3 times more conversations about brands and products than the average. So as a media channel, if we start to think about people as a media channel, they have an incredible amount more reach. Just looking at then conversations, so they've got 3 times the amount of conversations, looking at what triggers those conversations. We have 80% of conversations, as we would probably expect, are triggered by an experience, something that I see, feel and touch and do or read and experience. So if I just quickly touched on a case study that we ran over summer to look at how this sort of comes to life. We ran a campaign for Pepper Jack. It's a nice drop of wine. We sent out lots and lots of cases to wine to people that we had identified as influencers. And what we found, and we measured their influence and their impact across markets where, again, they had a very large-scale media campaign running as well, but where we could isolate adding influence to that media mix, what we found was that there was a 72% sales uplift, which was huge and unexpected, I think, by Pepper Jack. But in the states, in the regions, in the zones where we identified influence and where we activated influence through sharing in their networks, hosting dinner parties, drinking a lot of red wine, their advocacy, the conversations that they created, amplified that media impact and created a lot of extra sales.